Welcome back to BBC American English. I'm your host, Alex. Today we begin a journey, yes, a real journey into one of the most dramatic, complex, and fascinating stories of world history. Our topic is Timur, also known as Tamerlane, and the vast empire he created. Get ready because this one is more than just history. It's a story full of power, ambition, strategy, betrayal, and a world-changing legacy. Before we dive in, remember, whenever you hear me pause to highlight a vocabulary word, don't worry, it's intentional. It helps you improve your English while keeping the story flowing naturally. So let's begin. Timur was born in 1336 near the city of Kesh, close to Samarkand. At that time, the region was full of tribal conflicts. Various clans fought for control, influence, and survival. As a young man, Timur was not a prince. He wasn't born into luxury or royal bloodlines, but he possessed something far more powerful: ambition. Vocabulary: ambition equals a strong desire to achieve something. Timur grew up watching tribal leaders rise and fall quickly. He learned early that survival depended on strategy, alliances, and decisiveness. By the time his 20s, he had already gathered a group of loyal warriors, people who believed in his vision. It's said that Timur received injuries in battles early in life, leaving him with a limp in one leg and paralysis in two fingers. This is the origin of the name Timur-a-Lung in Persian, which Europeans later transformed into Tamerlane. But don't let the injuries fool you. His physical limitations only made his determination stronger. Vocabulary: determination equals persistence, not giving up. As Timur rose to power, he positioned himself as the protector of Islam and order, even though his methods were often ruthless. At the same time, he believed he was fulfilling a divine mission to restore the greatness of the Mongol Empire. By the time he reached full power, his influence spread across Transoxiana, Persia, and beyond. And this was only the beginning. Part 2. The expansion of a ruthless empire. Welcome back. In this second chapter, let's explore how Timur transformed from a regional warlord into a world conqueror. One of Timur's early strategies was building alliances with tribes, then slowly replacing their leaders with people loyal to him. This tactic, vocabulary: tactic means a carefully planned action to achieve a goal, allowed him to expand without always resorting to war. Still, when Timur did go to war, his campaigns were brutal and decisive. He conquered Persia, one of the richest regions of the time. Cities like Isfahan resisted him, and when they did, Timur responded with punishments so severe that they became legends. The stories describe towers built from the skulls of enemies. Yes, it's dark. But it also reveals how fear became one of Timur's greatest weapons. Vocabulary: weapon means something used to fight or gain power. Here it means psychological power. Timur believed that fear could prevent rebellions and reduce the need for future battles. At the same time, he presented himself as a patron of art and culture. He rebuilt Samarkand, inviting architects, scientists, poets, and scholars. He wanted his capital to be the most magnificent city in the world. So we see a contradiction: Timur the destroyer and Timur the builder. This tension makes his story even more dramatic. His empire was expanding rapidly, from Central Asia to Persia, from the Caucasus to parts of Russia and northern India.
And soon, his path would cross with another global power, the Ottoman Empire.
Part 3. The Ottomans rise and two giants approach. Now we enter one of the most exciting parts of our story, the moment when Timur's empire collided with the Ottoman Empire. Before the confrontation, let's briefly understand who the Ottomans were at this point. The Ottoman Empire, founded in 1299, had expanded dramatically by the late 13th century. Under Sultan Bayezid I, nicknamed Yildirim, meaning the Thunderbolt, the empire grew faster than ever. Vocabulary: nickname equals an informal name given to someone. Vocabulary: empire equals a group of nations or territories ruled by a single authority. Bayezid was bold, quick, and aggressive on the battlefield. He defeated rivals, pressured European kingdoms, and began surrounding Constantinople. But here's where the drama intensifies. Both Timur and Bayezid had enormous pride. Both wanted to be seen as the true leader of the Muslim world. Both wanted to dominate Anatolia. Their letters to each other became heated, filled with accusations and insults. Each one saw the other as a threat to his authority. Timur believed Bayezid was interfering with his sphere of influence. Bayezid believed Timur was provoking him unnecessarily. The stage for conflict was set, and the moment these two giants marched toward each other, history held its breath. Part 4. The Battle of Ankara. This is it, the moment listeners have been waiting for. The legendary Battle of Ankara, fought in 1402. It was summer, unbearably hot. Both armies were massive, but Timur had a strategic advantage. His forces included experienced steppe cavalry, war elephants imported from India, and loyal commanders trained in his style of warfare. Vocabulary: cavalry means soldiers who fight on horseback. Vocabulary: strategy means a long-term plan to achieve victory. The battle began with dust clouds rising over the plains near Ankara. Both armies clashed fiercely, but over time something unexpected happened. Many of the Turkish tribal soldiers in Bayezid's army defected to Timur because they had old loyalties to him. Vocabulary: defect means to leave one side and join another. Bayezid fought bravely, but Timur's tactics slowly crushed the Ottomans. By the end of the battle, Sultan Bayezid was captured. This was one of the most shocking events of medieval history. An emperor, a rising superpower, brought down and taken prisoner. Timur treated Bayezid with a mix of respect and humiliation. Stories vary. Some say Timur mocked him, others say he kept him comfortably. The truth probably lies somewhere in between. What we know for certain is this. After Ankara, the Ottoman Empire entered a period of chaos, known as the Interregnum, where Bayezid's sons fought each other for power. This moment changed the course of Ottoman history forever. Part 5. Legacy, Death, and the Shadows of History. As we come to the final part of our journey, let's reflect on the end of Timur's life and the long shadow he cast over history. After defeating Bayezid, Timur continued expanding his influence. His ambitions even stretched toward China. He envisioned recreating the Mongol Empire on an even larger scale. But in 1405, during his campaign toward China, Timur died unexpectedly near the city of Otrar. His death was sudden. His empire, built through decades of warfare and alliances, lacked a strong system of succession. Vocabulary: succession system means a clear method for deciding who becomes the next ruler.
As a result, the empire slowly fragmented after his passing. Yet Timur's legacy lived on. His descendants, the Timurid dynasty, ruled important regions and contributed greatly to culture, art, and architecture. From Samarkand to Herat, Timurid influence shaped the Islamic world for centuries. And interestingly, the Ottomans, despite their temporary collapse, recovered and grew even stronger in the long run. A century later, they conquered Constantinople and became one of the most powerful empires in world history. So, what remains of Timur? A controversial figure, a destroyer and a builder, a conqueror and a patron of culture. A man whose name echoes across Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. His story is not simple, and that's exactly why it captivates us. Thank you for joining me today on BBC American English. I hope your English improved, your knowledge expanded, and your imagination traveled far beyond the walls of your room.